In the far reaches of ancient China, nestled in a quiet valley, surrounded by misty mountains and gently swaying bamboo groves, there lay a village known as Liang. The people of Liang lived simple, peaceful lives. They harvested rice in the low fields, tended to goats on the grassy hills, and gathered by the fire each evening to tell stories passed down from generations before. At the very heart of the village, on a stone-paved path shaded by cherry blossoms, stood an old wooden temple. Its roof curved like the wings of a resting crane, and red lanterns swayed gently from its corners. But most remarkable of all was the great bronze bell hanging within its sacred tower. It was taller than a man and wider than a cart, engraved with swirling dragons, phoenixes, and ancient characters that no one in the village could read anymore. The bell was beautiful, but it had never rung, not once. As the story went, long ago, during the Han Dynasty, the emperor commissioned the bell to bring harmony and wisdom to the land. But the master bellmaker, old Master Shen, declared that it would only ring for someone with a truly kind and selfless heart. A soul so pure, the bell would respond not to sound or strike, but to the spirit of goodness itself. Since then, villagers had stood beneath it, sang to it, prayed by it, even tapped it with sticks and bamboo. But the bell remained still and silent. Over time, many stopped believing. Children would point at it and laugh. Old men would nod and say, perhaps it was never meant to ring. But deep inside the tower, where dust gathered and light rarely touched, the bell waited. In this same village lived a quiet boy named Liang, no older than 8. He lived with his grandmother, who sold painted fans and herbal tea at the market. Ling's parents had passed away when he was just a baby, and though life was not easy, Liang never complained. Every morning he rose before the sun to help sweep the shop, fetch water from the stream, and warm his grandmother's hands with his own small ones when the mountain breeze grew cold. Liang didn't talk much, but he listened to the rustle of the wind, to the chirps of sparrows, and to the stories his grandmother told him at night, especially the one about the silent bell. "It waits," she whispered, "for the one who is not looking to be seen, but simply lives with kindness." One early spring morning, as dew clung to the leaves and fog curled between the trees, Liang was walking through the temple gardens. He carried a small basket of flower petals, which he often offered at the shrine out of quiet respect. As he walked along the stone path, he heard a soft cry, "Cheep, cheep, cheep," and turned to see a tiny sparrow struggling in the grass. Its wing was bent, and it flapped helplessly, unable to fly. Liang knelt beside the bird. "Oh, little one," he whispered, "what happened to you?" He gently scooped it into his hands, careful not to hurt its wing. Liang gave up his basket of petals and instead cradled the sparrow in his scarf. He took it home, fashioned a tiny nest from rice straw, and with help from his grandmother, began nursing it back to health. For days he cared for it, feeding it soaked millet, warming it with his breath and humming softly as it healed. He never thought of being praised. He never told anyone. He simply helped because the bird needed him. 2 weeks passed. The sparrow fluttered stronger each morning, until one soft afternoon Liang opened his hands, and the little creature soared skyward, circling once above his head before vanishing into the blue. Smiling, Liang returned to the temple. He didn't know why. Something in his heart simply pulled him there. The wind was quiet, the cherry blossoms danced, and then, bong, a sound deep and warm as the earth itself echoed through the valley. Villagers dropped their tools, children stopped playing, goats froze mid-step. Bong! The bell rang again, long and low, with a shimmering hum that could be felt in the chest and heart. Liang looked up. He hadn't touched it. He hadn't spoken. He had only stood there, quietly, kindly, humbly, and the bell had awakened. Within minutes, the entire village filled the temple yard. The elder monks bowed in awe, mothers hugged their children, grandmothers wiped tears from their eyes. "Who struck the bell?" they asked. But there was no mallet, no stick, no rope, just Liang, standing silently beneath the bronze tower, gazing upward with gentle eyes. The monk elder approached him and said, "Liang, what did you do?" Liang looked down, puzzled. "I only set a bird free." The elder smiled deeply. That was enough. From that day on, the bell was no longer just a relic of the past. It became a reminder, not of strength or power, but of gentleness. A bell that responded not to noise or force, but to kindness freely given. Liang grew older. He never sought fame. He remained quiet, helpful, and good-hearted. And every year, on the day the sparrow flew free, the bell would ring once, as if to remember the moment kindness stirred the soul of something ancient. And so, dear one, as you close your eyes tonight, remember the bell that listened not with ears, but with heart. Let your dreams carry you to the temple of Liang, where blossoms fall like silk and sparrows sing under the moon. Who knows? Perhaps there's a bell inside each of us, waiting not to be struck but to be awakened by kindness. Good night.